All right, y'all. On this NCAA college football playoff committee debacle, the bottom line is the stench of the NCAA's lies is becoming overpowering. They put together a committee to choose and select the best four teams, and they call it independent, but they hired the committee. And the bottom line is this: they are still responsible. The fact of the matter is they are pissed about that UIL money because they don't get cheap labor anymore. No more cheap labor for these board of regents sitting on their ass collecting stacks of cash. Now, one would say, well, just like the committee is independent, the schools are fading the UIL money. So, you think when this came down that all these schools just said, yeah, we'll fade it. NCAA Board of Regents that makes money off the whole thing, we're not going to ask you guys to cover any of this. You really think that's what happened? Seriously? Man, I'm telling you, they count on people not paying attention. The NCAA literally is the biggest proponent of, yeah, don't worry about that. Blowing it past you. You know, it's a shame, man. I mean, listen, I'm in Texas. I'm a Texas fan. Love the Longhorns. And they're having a hell of a season. I believe if Georgia had beaten Alabama, they still would have jumped Texas over Florida State. And as a Texas fan, I'm telling you that is wrong. And I would say so then as well. The bottom line is they said, well, what we're going to do way back in the day, they said, well, we're going to make sure we get 1 versus 2. All right? Okay. Then they said, well, we got other teams that should have a shot, so they took it to 4. And they're going to take it to 12. The whole idea was to be more like the NFL, be more, quote-unquote, meritorious, if you will. Now, trust me, they've looked at it and won't adopt the Division II model because that would mean sacrificing some regular season games for a postseason tournament in terms of length and how it works with everything else. That's the only way they could do it. If they extended it on top of a 12-game regular season and conference championship games, which they aren't going to give up because that's money, well, then they say, well, yeah, it's going to conflict with the life of the student athlete, on and on and on and all that crap. No, it's not. It's not. 14-year-old tennis players get tutors and go on the road and turn professional. Midget league hockey players turn professional at like 16, and they have tutors so they can finish their prospective schooling and so forth. Again, it's absolute hypocrisy. It's a bunch of jackasses in rooms moving chess pieces around on the board. It, based on the events of this past Sunday at noon, has become less meritorious. They have just said, well, our games don't really mean anything in the regular season, which that was the whole purpose of college, and now they used to be able to say that. So I'm just wondering if when they sell these games, these big regular season games, like a Texas versus Alabama, they say, oh, it's so meaningful, it's so meaningful. And yeah, in this case, it kind of was. But then we dismissed everything, every single Florida State game. Well, those games have no meaning. And it's just unfortunate for the young men that play, and then secondly, the coaches that work their ass off, as well as the fans of Florida State, just to kind of get a raw deal like this. What it says is, unless you're in the Big 12 unless you're in the Big 10 or the SEC, you have to be perfect. And even then, if you are perfect, we still may overrule your perfection. with words as opposed to what you did on the field to get it. It's a damn shame, but that's life, and that's how it is. Trust me, when we get to 12, the 13th team will complain as well. Joy Blosa, I'm out.